Welcome to Jersey's Best Podcast, a weekly deep dive into everything that makes New Jersey spectacular, bizarre, beautiful, sometimes annoying, but always the best. My name is Jeremy Schneider. I'm a food and culture reporter for NJ.com and the Star Ledger, and I'm your host. Before we begin, a reminder you can send episode suggestions, guest ideas, questions, anything like that our way at jerseysbestpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us at Jersey's Best Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. If you're a fan of the podcast, you're going to be a fan of all the silly stuff we're posting over there. This week, Jersey's Best Podcast is going out for bagels because New Jersey has the best damn bagels in the world, and keto diets should be illegal in the Garden State. Bagels are a culinary cornerstone in New Jersey. We love them so much that we trust them to be the vessel for our favorite breakfast meats. And while no one in the Garden State can agree on the perfect bagel order or which bagel shop makes the best bagels, we are all united in knowing that New Jersey absolutely makes incredible bagels. But what makes a great bagel? Why does New Jersey have the best bagels? And what makes New Jersey bagels the best? What do we know in New Jersey that the rest of the country doesn't? Yes, I'm looking at you, New York. This is why New Jersey bagels matter. The culture, the craft, and the whole truth. This week, we're deep diving on the Garden State's obsession with bagels and the culture that surrounds the deliciously doughy rings we all love so much. We're not just talking about favorite bagel shops and favorite bagel orders and the do's and don'ts of bagels, though that'll come up. We're breaking down the keys to great bagel making and the cultural importance of bagel shops in New Jersey. Joining me today to discuss New Jersey's favorite bready breakfast item is Jarrett Seltzer, the owner of Bagels by Jarrett in West Orange, one of the best bagel shops in New Jersey, where you can get incredible bagels and pretty much whatever the hell Jarrett feels like cooking that day. Jarrett, welcome to Jersey's Best Podcast.
Well, thank you for having me, Jeremy.
Jarrett, it's been a lot of fun reporting on all your culinary adventures over the years. Bagels by Jarrett is one of my favorite shops in New Jersey. You make really incredible bagels. You make, well, I mean, what do you make? You have the slice shop now. What else are you making these days? Because you feel like you're just making stuff all over the place.
Say the menu literally has everything but sushi at this point. Oh, God damn it, Jeremy! Already?
All right, let's. I'm gonna take that intro again. Why did that man? All right, I'm sorry. That's the first time that's happened in this podcast.
I like the natural. I would go. I would keep rolling.
All right, I'm just gonna so we have it from the top. Joining me today to discuss New Jersey's favorite bready breakfast item is Jarrett Seltzer, the owner of Bagels by Jarrett in West Orange, one of the best bagel shops in New Jersey, where you can also get whatever the hell Jarrett feels like making that day. Jarrett, welcome to Jersey's Best Podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me, Jeremy.
Jarrett, I've had a lot of fun reporting on your shop. You make a lot of really great stuff. The pizza you're making is very cool. The sandwiches are incredible. But the bagels, man, how does one get into bagel making?
So for me, it was my wife loved hot pretzels. And so I think it was like a Sunday football season. And I'm like, let me make you some hot pretzels. I've never made pretzels in my life. And Google the recipe or whatever. And I'm like, oh, let me put everything seeds on them. And then I was like, well, let's do like a veggie cream cheese dip with these. And I'm like, it's not a bagel, it's a pretzel, but like maybe there's something here. So I was set out on a mission to create a bagel. And it only took me like 4 or 5 times of tweaking recipes and whatnot. And I was like, I think this is a really awesome bagel. I called some friends. I'm like, yo, come over. Like, tell me if this is a really, really good bagel or not. And everyone's like, this is an awesome bagel. So the very next day, that day, I took a picture of this bagel. This is many, many years ago. Mm-hmm. And I posted it on a local Facebook group. And I said, I finally found the best bagel in West Orange in my house. Like, what a kidder this guy is. And the very next day, I was like, let me make him again to make sure, like, I got this down, mm-hmm. right? I don't want to forget how I did this. And then I posted on that page. I'm like, hey, I'm giving away bagels. And all of a sudden people comment like, I want one. I'm like, everyone can have one. I can only make 11 bagels in my KitchenAid. It would break if I did 12, which is like the most Bagels by Jarrett thing in the world. And so I started making these bagels and giving them out. And then like all these people wanted them. So I made it that if you got a bagel that day, you had to pay it forward in town somehow. And you also had to leave a review on that Facebook group of the bagel. So you take a picture of it, leave a review, pay it forward, and share how you paid it forward. And I did this for years, literally.
When did this start? Like what year?
Oh, that had to be 2017, maybe.
So you were making bagels just out of your kitchen for like 3 years before you opened the shop.
Yeah, I was in video production and I wasn't shooting as much. I was editing and animating way more, so I was home. And that gave me the time because the way I make the bagels is pretty time consuming. And so it was like I start making them in the morning, and by the afternoon people could get some bagels.
Or
people could get a bagel, I should say, one.
That's incredible. And so I don't trust a lot of bagel I mean, in Jersey, I trust the bagel shops, but I'm always sus just because I know how hard it is to do this right. What is the key to making a good bagel? And I guess what makes a good bagel in your eyes?
Well, for me, what I like a bagel that's not too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to fall asleep. Like, I don't understand how people can eat pancakes for breakfast. Like, we sell a ton of them, but if I eat pancakes in the morning, my day's over. Like, I'm shot at that point. There's nothing good happening if I eat a stack of pancakes to start my day. So for me, I wanted a bagel that was lighter than your average bagel. And we utilize a sponge, which is basically water, flour, yeast that ferments and grows for. Keep in mind, I don't know anything I'm talking about. I just happen to figure this out.
Yeah. So you're not some bagel master that's been had this handed down to you.
No, Grandpa didn't give me a bagel recipe that my family's been making for years and generations. I made a bagel out of like a small apartment, and it just was really good, and it worked. And I was also. It's a nightmare the way I make my bagels. Like, I don't think anyone in New Jersey makes a sponge for their bagels.
What is the typical? I mean, is it a typical dough? Or?
Yeah, you just take flour, water, yeast, salt. If you're doing any sugar or malts or things along those lines, and you make some dough and you roll it into a bagel. And some guy at 2 a.m. who's been doing it for 50 years rolls them all out, bakes all the bagels, and then puts them there. The shop opens at 6 a.m. and that's why you can't get a hot bagel after noon, because the guy usually just comes in, makes the bagels, and he's done.
I'm so fascinated by all this. And so, why do you do it? Why do you do it in your method? Is it like for the final product, or is it for just the process?
Yeah, it's the final product when it comes to dough. And again, like, I'm no expert when it comes to dough by any means, but you hear guys say like, oh, when they make their pizza dough, right? It's like a 7-day dough. It takes this and this and the pre-ferment and blah 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 blah. That's basically what we do with our bagels, which again, I don't think is a normal activity for a bagel shop at all.
Why do you think New Jersey bagels are so special? And why do you? Because I hear, it's the water. Or I hear it's the culture. But
I did a test with Poland Spring years ago at home instead of using the tap water, and I got no difference. So I used bottled water because I was like, I have to know, because I don't know. I just made this recipe, and these bagels happen to be really good, but I don't understand the science behind it. I don't know why this does this or this does that. Like, I'm just no expert. I just happened to make something that was really good. And so I was like, screw it. Let's take Poland Spring today and try it. And the bagels tasted exactly the same.
So
and the textures were the same, I should say, too.
I find that so fascinating because I feel like it's a cliche or a trope, whether it's with bagels, whether it's with pizza. I mean, any carby, bready thing in New Jersey, they say, it's the water, it's the water. And I don't disagree that New Jersey has water that is advantageous for making these things, but I have had chefs that I really respect, and it sounds to me like you're in this same lane. It's not you can make good bagels or pizza or whatever with any type of water, as long as you know how to work with that water, as long as you're adjusting your process, whether you're adjusting your recipe and whatnot. Because really great pizza chefs have gone from New Jersey, Anthony Mangieri, I'm looking at you, have gone to the West Coast and made really great pizza. And I imagine, the key is not the water, it's how to work with the water?
I think your recipe is most important. Okay. I think the concept of working with it, and you have to know, like, it's different every day. But the temperature in my shop is different every day. The humidity in my shop is different every day. Sometimes the bagels proof faster, sometimes they proof slower. We add more yeast in the winter so that they proof faster because it's colder in the shop. So we have to do those things, but I feel like you can't outwork like a great recipe. And you just have to stick with it too. That's the other thing I've realized. Like, it's always consistency in the food business in general is super, super important. So, I'm making my bagels the same exact way that I used to make them at home. Minus, I have a different oven that does steam, and we're a steam oven bagel instead of boiling. Which
okay.
I realized I'd probably just open the floodgates there.
The steam gates. I was going to ask you, because I feel like the boil bake method, as someone who's never made bagels myself, it seems logical to me that boiling it first and then baking it, the boil bake method, creates that crusty exterior while still being doughy and chewy on the inside. And that contrast for me is what makes New Jersey bagels so special and the key to a good bagel. But you use a different method than that.
When I was making them at home, I boiled them because I obviously didn't have a steam oven at home. And then I heard about the steam oven deal, and I went to try it out at this guy. Like, the place was only like a half hour from my house. And I remember like taking my dough and literally making my car as cold as possible so it didn't overproof by the time I got there, and like driving as fast as humanly possible to try out this steam oven. And I did it, and I was like, this is better. It looks better, and it's eating better than my boiled bagels. So I was all like, let me see if I can find this steam oven. I ended up finding it like at an auction 3 years before I even opened a bagel shop. A buddy of mine was like, let's buy it. I'm like, I don't have any money. And he's like, I'm like, I don't have a shop. What are you talking about? And he laid out $6,000. My buddy from Bobby from Appian Way, a restaurant in Orange, literally paid $6,000 at auction to buy me this steam oven that sat on a truck in his parking lot for 3 years.
That man loves you.
He loves me.
Well, so what are these ovens typically used for? I mean, I guess
Baking.
Baking.
It's
Okay. So this is not some. I mean, it's a little unorthodox for you to be making bagels like this, but it's not unheard of to be. This is a common baking tool.
Yeah, well, if you walk into ShopRite, you'll see like they have rotating ovens that have steam in them. Like they have those carts that you just roll right in. That's what we do. But yeah, most places are boiling, and we steam instead.
And I mean, what do you think the difference is there? Or what's the? I mean, does it create a different texture? Does it create
For me, I had no difference in the textures. The chew, everything was the same. The steams looked better for my bagel recipe. I don't know if that's the same for everyone's bagel recipe. I've got a weird recipe, as I said. So for me, I got a much better looking plain bagel. Like my everythings are fine because they're totally coated in seeds, so you can't tell if they're ugly underneath. But like a plain bagel's got to look good. There's nowhere to hide.
So I'll eat an ugly bagel as long as it tastes good. But I do think that a New Jersey bagel looks different than most bagels. And this is not just my Jersey pride speaking. This is having eaten bagels. I mean, I've eaten bagels in Jersey. I've eaten bagels in New York. I've eaten bagels in California a decent amount. I really do think that we have a special bagel here. And from my perspective, that the key is having that textural contrast.
I'm a big texture guy. When it comes to all the food in the shop, like everything comes back to texture for me, whether it's from the bagel or it's a pasta dish where I'm just like, this needs a crunch in it or something. So I'm with you 100% on that.
Because if you bite into that bagel and it has the exact same feel all the way through, then you might as well be eating a roll. And there's nothing wrong. I love a roll, but there is a very distinct difference in a bagel and a roll. Jeremy Schneider, stating the obvious here, but that's the key for me.
Well, and that's why I twice bake my bagels because that was the issue. When I first made the bagel, I'm like, this is good, but it's eating like a roll. So we let the bagels, we do a cook on them, we let them cool, and then they go back into the oven, and that gives me the better crisp on it.
Okay.
Again, nothing conventional about, like, you picked the worst bagel guy to do this episode.
I disagree. No. I completely disagree because I think this is so fascinating and interesting that there is more than one way to make an amazing bagel. It's not. I mean, what is the typical would you say most bagel shops in New Jersey have the same process?
I would think so. Yeah, absolutely. As I said, the guy going in at 2 a.m, making the dough, letting it proof, boiling the bagels, baking the bagels. Here's all your bagels. See you tomorrow.
And do you think that's just because it's like tried and true, and it's like, why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Yeah, absolutely. And my method, as I said, like, I got to wait 2 hours for a sponge to grow. That stinks. Right? Like, that's a lot of time.
It seems to me like you're not afraid to do inconvenient, unorthodox things, huh?
Yeah, that's because I didn't know what I was doing when I started this whole thing, and it's left me where I am right now.
But hey, we got here for a reason.
Absolutely, and it happened organically, and I think that's the positive with it. But the amount of mistakes I've made since I've opened Bagels by Jarrett and like different recipes and different things, I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I get myself into this like this? Why didn't I just hire that old guy who would come in at 2 a.m. to make me the bagels?
You're doing it for the love of the bagel game, man.
You're correct.
And I love that. But have you ever thought about going to a more conventional method, or is it
I can't change things? That's the problem. That's the biggest problem with everything I've ever done at the shop. Now I know better. Like, it took 5.5 years to figure things out, and the fact that we make all different types of food. Now I'm really smart. I'm like, wait, that's got 7 steps. My guys are gonna kill me during a busy dinner service if they have something that takes 7 steps. So I'm smarter, right? You learn something new every day in this business, and so I've gotten much smarter. But I can't change things that already exist. And God, if I could just change from having a 2-hour wait on the sponge. You're doing. We thank you for your bagel service. Sir. Thank you.
But we could talk about, and we'll keep talking about the actual eating, the culinary experience of the bagel later. But I think it's something that that's really important to talk about. It's not the culture of bagels. It's not just about the bagel. It's about the process. It's about the nostalgia. It's about we don't have town squares in New Jersey like we used to. This isn't the olden days. I feel like we have bagel shops. I feel like that's kind of where that's the place of, where you see people. It's where you congregate. It's where you converse. And I mean, chances are, I mean, everyone in Jersey loves bagels because we have amazing bagels, and so everyone goes to get bagels every morning because it's just like it's what you do, and it's just ingrained in us. So does your bagel shop have that vibe? Or I mean, have you noticed that?
Well, so we did, right? When we opened, because we opened 3 weeks before the pandemic hit, and my whole concept was I wanted a fast-moving bagel shop that, like, I hated being online, right? And the person in front of you was like, you're like hungover, you're sweating a little bit, and you're like, a quarter pound of lox spread, like the woman in front of you, and you're like, stop it, just stop it. Let me just get my food and get out of here. So I designed a bagel shop to be fast-moving. I even literally put a split air conditioning unit to like hit the customers so that if they were warm, they were like comfortable in line to help their experience. When we first opened, we literally had a door guy, like security, because there were so many people online to come in. And I'm like, it does us no good to have 40 people in the shop at once. No one's getting anything any faster. So we limited it to 10 people at a time were allowed in at once. And it was super, super fast moving. We didn't even do bacon, egg, and cheese back then. You couldn't even get like a breakfast sandwich. It was bagels, spreads, chicken salad, coffee, drinks, that's it. And we containered all of the cream cheese and chicken salads, et cetera, to save time. Because again, I wanted it all to be fast moving. And this was, again, 3 weeks before the pandemic hit, and we were doing 75 customers an hour, which is like it's an insane amount of people through a bagel shop. Like 75 in 1 hour is nuts.
I do think the key to a great bagel shop is that ability. Because there are bagel shops I will not go to because I know it's just an absolute mess. The process, that's not clear where the line is. It's not clear like where I pay, and then you don't know where to wait and stuff. And for me, and for a lot of people, the bagel, it's all about convenience. It's all about routine. It's all about I know where to go. I know how to get it. I know how I'm going to get it, and I'm in and out.
And you're gonna have the same expectation, like it's going to be the same thing every single time. It's going to have the same amount of cream cheese on it that I got. It's going to look relatively the same. It's going to be at this temperature. Like I know what I'm dealing with. We want in food we want consistency. Yeah. People are sick of spending their hard-earned money on food that's not consistent.
And there's a working class thing about bagels. I mean, and I don't know anyone that's.
I think it's Taylor ham as working class.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Not pork roll.
We have both on the menu.
I respect the hell out of that.
We have both on the menu. Pork roll's 50 cents more.
But yeah.
It is.
I've never heard that. I got an idea for a new story, Bobby. No, but the bagel of it all, it's it's working class because it's relatively affordable. I mean, they've gotten more expensive as time's gone on, but you can afford it's a filling thing that you can take on the go. Yep. You can eat it while on your commute or whatever. You can go or if you get it early and take it to work, it's gonna keep pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think there's something beautiful. I think it's a very quintessential Jersey food item.
Absolutely, and it hits right. Like the morning after a wedding, you're like, I just need a bagel sandwich.
And you mentioned you not wanting to see people when you're hungover and stuff, and at the bagel shop, and I don't either. There's something incredibly, and I think there's some bagel etiquette where it's like when you see someone at the bagel shop
on a Sunday morning, just.
But, I mean, look,
a head nod's fine.
Exactly. If you give a head nod, give take what they're giving you. If they clearly want to catch up and talk, cool. If they don't, keep it moving.
Absolutely.
But why, and it's something I didn't realize until I left New Jersey for college, that New Jersey, New Jersey, I thought bagels were just everywhere. I just thought across the country.
100%.
Why? What is it about? I mean, why does New Jersey specifically, from your perspective, why do we love bagels so much, and why do we love bagel shops so much, and why do we love talking about bagels so much?
Well, I don't know if how we ended up becoming the bagel capital. I mean, for me, it's what you grew up on, right? So I would go when I was a kid. I was in Bergen County, and on Sunday morning, I'd go with my dad, wait around the block at this place called Ronnie's Bagels. It was the best bagel in the world at that time in Hillsdale, New Jersey. And that was a piece to it, right? And you walked in, and then they also had these giant cookies with M&Ms in them that I was never allowed to get, and crumb cake with more crumb than cake, and all these things at kid level. And I learned that too. I learned that at a very young age of where to place things. So when you come into the slice shop where we have everything, the crumb cake and the cookies and stuff are all at children level.
I love that.
It's just right. Yeah, it's marketing. It's genius.
That's nostalgia. That's nostalgia right there.
Yeah, you can have that one for free. So, but yeah, no, I think it was just we grew up with it, right? It's the idea that it's like coffee for us, right? When we were kids, we'd come downstairs and smell our parents brewing coffee, and that's something that stuck with us. And it also meant when we got older, we could drink coffee. It was this big step, and that's why originally even when coffee went over to Japan, it didn't sell because they were used to tea. The kids would wake up and they didn't smell their parents drinking, brewing that coffee. Their parents were drinking tea. So it took a lot in Japan to make coffee a thing. And so I think that like the bagel and the breakfast and that whole vibe is something that hits us in our childhood, because the people who aren't really from this area, right? Friends that you've met from all around the country, like a bagel for breakfast isn't necessarily their thing, because they don't know what a good bagel is. And they're also fine with a bagel from a chain or whatever, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
I haven't found a good bagel chain. Like I can talk pizza and like what my favorite like fast food pizza is and whatnot. I've never found a good bagel from a bagel chain.
I'm going to tell you something that I should not admit on this podcast. I had a bagel this morning. It was from Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, it was. I didn't get it.
Have they gotten any better?
On it. So here's what happened. My buddy's crashing with me right now, and he got a bagel.
Blames it on the buddy. Right into it.
It's not my fault. I would never order it. But no, he got a bagel because he was going on a run. He wanted to carb up. God bless. And he was like, "Oh, I gotta have a bagel if you want to try it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I take one bite, and I was like, "This is a Dunkin' Donuts bagel." And frankly, I'm embarrassed, but it was not as bad as I thought it would be. It was still bad.
I'm curious if they've changed. I haven't had one in years.
I can't remember the last time I had one because I just have too much self-respect. I rather not have a bagel than have a Dunkin' Donuts bagel. Your coffee's fine. I don't want your bagels. And I don't want New York bagels either. I gotta ask. I have thoughts that I will give in a second, but I'm curious for when we talk about like the New Jersey, New York food rivalries, and they are alive and well, and I mean it's part of the reason I have a job as a food writer, because we care this much and our food is this good. But I'm confident that New Jersey pizza is better than New York pizza. I'm absurdly confident, even more confident, absolutely set in assured that New Jersey bagels are better than New York bagels. I'll explain why, but I want to hear your thoughts first. Where are you at on New York versus New Jersey bagels as a bagelman?
I was always more Jersey. Like I always like when I was in video production, I would work in Manhattan, get bagels or whatever. I never thought that they were as good in New York as they are in New Jersey. And I can't tell you the why on it. In fact, I would think New York's would be better because there's more people on the streets. You can just keep pumping them out fresh and whatever. Like that's one thing in the food industry. The busier you are, as long as you can handle it properly, your food should be better because you're everything's fresh, right? And you're doing the same thing over and over every single day. Your same person's making the same thing over and over every single day. So I would think that New York bagels should be better. And they should be fresher and they should be hotter because there's just more people on the street walking in and getting a bagel. But in general, I personally have found, I mean, you're going to get different textures and such, different chews. But I found the flavor in New Jersey to be better. I don't know if it's I like a little sweet undertone to my bagel. Not your French toast
We'll talk
bullshit,
about that later.
but just like a little bit of honey in there, like a little, just a touch.
So I've had great bagels in New York. I've had great bagels in New Jersey. I've never really had a bad bagel in New Jersey, other than the Dunkin' Donuts thing. We don't got to talk about that. No, delete that. But I've had plenty of bad bagels in New York. Like there was one point where I was working in my dad's office in Lower Manhattan, and we'd go to like the deli or whatever and get bagels, and they were trash. And like we still got them because we wanted bagels, but like and I'm not saying they were like, it wasn't Nebraska bad, it wasn't Dunkin' Donuts bad, it wasn't Thomas's Bagels bad, but it was like, oh, like come on, you're in New York. This is one of the food capitals of the world. Your bagel should be better than this.
Well, I think you also have a fair amount of places in Manhattan. As I'm just thinking about this now, I'm not even have this in my back pocket. There's probably someone manufacturing bagels for a lot of these places.
Yeah.
That it's just a generic bad bagel, and their job is to get as many bagels out the door to their places as early as possible, right? So they may not be proofing them long enough. There's and again, this may be like a 6-7 hour old bagel by the time it gets dropped off there. Because I don't think everyone's making their bagels in Manhattan.
Yeah, and the thing for me is I think the median average. That's the same word. That means the same thing. The average bagel.
Oh, yes, we know you went to college.
No. I'm explaining that I'm an idiot for using the same word twice. Trust me. The average bagel is better in New Jersey than it is in New York, and I hear from people when we talk about New York bagels, like, oh, you gotta go to this spot. You gotta go to that spot. I mean, Apollo Bagels is a really good New York bagel shop that's coming to Jersey, and I'm actually excited about that.
I haven't had it yet, and I'm so upset because I originally wanted to dip the bagels in cream cheese. That's how I would eat it personally. And I was like, well, I can't do that. No one's ever going to go for that.
I think there's Pop-Up Bagels that does that.
I thought you said Pop-Up Bagels.
No, I'm sorry. Apollo Bagels. Is
I heard Pop-Up.
No,
Sorry.
No. But we're just talking. We have our finger on the pulse of bagel culture, people. Even New York, even though your bagels aren't as good. But no, yeah. So the Pop-Up does you
dip into the spread, and I loved it, but I'm like, nope, this will never work. And I didn't know anything about the food industry. Now look at what I've done. I've opened up a place called Bagels by Jarrett that sells pasta, burgers, Mexican, Asian food. And everyone I think would say, well, this is never going to work, right? But I wasn't the risk taker then, that I am now, if you will. So power to them, because that's how I would eat my bagel. Still to this day at the shop, if I'm starving, I grab a bagel, I rip a piece of it, grab some cream cheese, put it into like a little souffle cup and eat it that way.
So that's how Pop-Up Bagels does it. Apollo Bagels in New York is from... it's a spin-off of a pizzeria, a spin-off from Leo, and it's just like a sourdough crispier bagel, which I really like. But the sense I'm getting is in New York, you have to go to a specific spot to get a great bagel. In New Jersey, you can go anywhere. Literally, we debate, my Montclair buddies and I, we debate the best shop in Montclair. But you go to any shop in Montclair, it's going to be a good bagel. You go to any shop in Hoboken, it's going to be a good bagel. Like it is hard to find a bad bagel in New Jersey, and it is not that hard to find a bad bagel in New York. That's why I think Jersey bagels are better.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I'm going to go with more of the mass production in New York.
And that makes sense. And
then the Jersey places generally making them. It's kind of like a chocolate chip cookie. Like when the chocolate chip cookie comes out of the oven, it's good, no matter what. I don't care if it was a Pillsbury that you got to chop right and throw in. Yeah. Like a fresh chocolate chip cookie is good. Now, if you have a great recipe and you really care about your cookies and make them really well, then obviously when that cookie comes out of the oven, it's going to be better. But a cookie out of the oven is pretty good.
Are you familiar, and I completely agree with that. Are you familiar with Courage Bagels in Los Angeles?
I am not.
So I've not been, but the New York Times wrote this big story about how LA bagel culture is it's underrated. And Courage Bagels is this very, very popular spot in Los Angeles that it's like a 45-minute line or wait to get your bagel. And they sell like bagels by the half, like you can buy like a half a bagel. Like not like a half sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's super fancy, and I hear the produce is really great, and I have not been yet, but I find that infuriating. I on principle don't want to wait on an absurd line. Like you're gonna wait online for a Jersey bagel, but that line is moving because that shop is a well-oiled machine, and they know exactly what they're doing, or they're not gonna make it because there's so many shops that do know what they're doing.
Absolutely. And when COVID first hit and we went curbside, we were a 45 to an hour minute wait. Did I just speak properly?
45 minutes to hour
45 minutes to an hour wait. And we actually turned the whole parking lot into a drive-through at that time. And we had 2 curbside crew members that would come to your car and get your order. So no one cared because it was COVID. They needed a place to charge their cell phones anyway. They were just going to play on all day anyway. So they would sit in their car for 45 minutes to an hour. And when they got up to the door and we took their order, it was fast. Within a minute or two, you were done. And a lot of people back then would just pick up orders for their friends too. It was actually like super annoying because our curbside person would come in. They're like, okay, it's 3 total orders and they want to pay individually. And we have to put each bag. So we literally it was a Sharpie and the brown paper bag. And you wrote like 3E for 3 everything, 2P for 2 plain. And then you labeled the bags like that to give it to the person who was then putting the bagels in the bag. But nowadays, no, there's no time for that. Like if I'm running into somewhere, everything needs to be quick. I have zero patience. Like I'm the most impatient person in the entire world. So I can't fathom like waiting 45 minutes for breakfast.
Yeah, no, that's not. It's the antithesis of a bagel for me. When I want a bagel, I want it quick. I want it then. I'm like I don't have time to wait. It's supposed to be fast because it's 10 in the morning. I got things to do. I got to eat and I got to get going. And next time I'm in LA, I promised my friend Annabelle, who is one of the smartest food people I know. She used to work at Ratza in Jersey City. She swears by Courage, so I'll try it. But
Field trip. Let's go.
Let's go. NJ Advanced Media. Let's expense the trip to Los Angeles, baby. It's research. But no, Jersey. I don't want fancy bagels. I don't want crazy. I don't want to wait online. I don't want cucumbers or whatever. Let me get a bagel with cream cheese.
Well, you have to salt the cucumber. That's the key.
Oh, my man's out here dropping the science.
Yeah, you got to salt your veggies on a bagel. Otherwise, you're literally and a burger too. Like when we do our burgers, we salt the tomato on it because otherwise you're just adding water to you're not adding anything. It's just water. It takes away the flavor. So salt your cucumber on your bagel. Try that next time.
Don't lump Jersey bagels in with all this other stuff, man. I think we have a bagel culture all our own. I I like it better than LA, obviously. I definitely like it better than New York.
They got Mexican food better than us.
Yes, that is.
They get it. It's theirs.
They can have that.
I miss it.
Yeah. I miss it very much. So I got plenty of good spots in Jersey. NJ.com. Check it out. What's next for Jersey bagels, though, Jarrett? I'm curious. Do you see? I mean, obviously, we're talking about like tradition and people wanting the same thing over and over again. But I've seen some trends in the industry, and I'm curious as someone who's in the industry, what do you think is next for the culture? And do you think that Jersey's traditional like core would hold that back, or are we ready for cutting edge new bagel stuff?
I think we're ready for cutting edge. I think obviously you'll see like the sourdough stuff as mentioned, right? Like that's a piece to it. The way Pop-Up's doing it is different than the average place is doing it. Then you have like your certain places that do right all the crazy flavors and different cream cheese and Oreo and etc. For me, I got so much more into making the other food that excites me that it's kind of like if you look at my menu, you'll see like 20 new specials and you'll never see a bagel on it, which it's kind of the irony of what we do. And we had like made one of our best flavors I've never seen anyone else do, what we called SOG. It was salted onion garlic.
So is that as opposed to an everything bagel?
It's
like a everything light almost.
Yeah, it pushes more on the onion than the garlic.
Okay, I like that.
But it has the pretzel salt that we use too. Really nice bagel, especially for your love of chicken salad. Like that's a good chicken salad bagel. But it's funny, people come to me all the time like, can you make this bagel? Can you make that bagel? I'm like, I can. I'm like, but we have enough trouble we have 3 types of bagels, plain, everything, and sesame. And I'll get people coming constantly, I need a whole wheat everything. I'm like, I don't have it. And majority of the places are using food dye, egg bagels. Egg bagels, food dye, man.
I'd love an egg bagel, an egg everything bagel, but I do feel like if it's as yellow as like a sunflower, I don't think
not eggs, dude. You saw the prices of eggs. Like, you know what that bagel would have to sell for? Like back when those prices were there,
like $8, just plain.
Yeah, exactly. Now a lot of people, and obviously I don't play that game of telling people it's something that it's not.
You keep it real.
Yeah. And again, like we have enough trouble because our bagel chips are a huge thing for us too. My Caesar salad is the #1 single selling item in the entire shop based off of, and my menu has like 100,
yes, it does,
200 things. I don't even know how many things are on it. We should ask ChatGPT to take a look for us. But I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Well, hey man, I do that every day, and I do it on a podcast. I wanted to ask, people come to you and are they asking for crazy? Because I see the crazy bagel spots. I see the places doing the Oreo and the Takis and the pickle bagels or like the crazy cream cheeses. And I'm not about that.
No, I'm a purist.
I'm a purist, but here's the thing. I'm a purist, and I know plenty of people that are purists. I have friends that will send me posts from these, the hype bagel shops and be like, can you believe this? Or like, absolutely not, blah, blah, blah. I mean, for me, all I need in life is an everything bagel with scallion cream cheese.
Yeah, I'm on everything with veggie cream cheese. But same thing. And I can swap I can go the scallion.
And I think that Jersey, like, I think we have the room for it in the culture because it's not like, I don't think the spot's doing, doing the crazy stuff, whether it's the Bagel Nook, whether it's the O Bagel, these very successful shops that do make good bagels. Like, I would not be afraid to be like, yo, this spot that's doing the crazy bagels is making bad bagels. Because even there, like, I had an egg everything from Bagel Nook not that long ago. And, I mean, we can talk about the dye of it, the yellowness of it all. It was a delicious bagel. I don't want crazy bagels. I don't want Oreo cream cheese, but people do.
Yeah, they do. And people love their sweets too. I never realized that until I got into like this business or whatever. I remember even when I moved to West Orange, on the Facebook group that I mentioned earlier, every day someone commented about something from Dunkin' Donuts. They're like, hey, went to Dunkin' and they didn't have this available. And I was like, people go to Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I knew for coffee, but like I eat a donut like once a year. And I did not realize that people eat sweets on a daily basis. And so yeah, you have to cater to that, and that's the thing is like power to it. If the Oreo, we did some sweet cream cheese. We did an Oreo cheesecake cream cheese at one point. We did the Cinella, we called it with cinnamon and vanilla, and then Reagan Rainbow after my child with like sprinkles and white Oreo cookies and blah blah blah. And like they sold and whatnot. It's just not my thing. But when it's on the menu, it sells.
Yeah, people do want that, and I mean I know plenty of people that do. Are good on keeping it simple or whatever, but there are plenty of people that are like, oh, I will make a trip for a bagel that's shaped like a pumpkin with like, and I'm good on all that. But and I don't think that I don't ever see those spots overtaking, like the spot that's doing just the absolute classics. You know?
It's
that's why it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think there's room for, how many bagel shops are there in West Orange? There's 3, including me, maybe more than. We're going to go into Manhattan Bagel and Dunkin'. and then you got a few different mom and pops. You're at least at 5 by my quick count. And I'm like, we can all coexist. It's all good. It's fine.
Yeah, I might judge you for your bagel order. Not might. I will judge you for your bagel order, but I respect it. And that is the beauty of Jersey bagel culture, that we have the room for, a plain bagel with butter, which I like. That sounds simple, but there is a time and place for a plain bagel with butter, and it's a good place.
Well, so here's one that's crazy, because we were always anti-toasting and scooping. Toasted sesame with butter. There's something special about the toasting of the sesame.
Oh, the sweetness that it brings out?
There's the
sweet. That sounds marvelous.
Yeah, so
I'm very about that.
I can get into a toasted sesame with butter every once in a while.
And you understand the importance of social media in the dining industry.
Oh,
at this point,
1,000%.
if you're not on social media and you're not already a very well established place, then you're behind the 8 ball, right?
100%.
So I don't blame these shops that are doing, they're posting crazy bagels on Instagram and TikTok or whatever. I might scoff a little bit. I might send it to my friends and laugh, because that's not what I want. But there's certainly an interest for it, and I don't think it's sacrilegious. I don't think it's
it just needs to be good. That's my whole thing. Is like, you can go for whatever, As I told you we were talking earlier before we started recording, and I mentioned that I've never followed any trend. I've never copied anyone. The only thing I ever did, which I admitted to, was when birria tacos took off. I'm like, let's take our shot at birria. This is all the rage. But I get people going crazy trying to get that viral hit on social media, and power to you. It's just got to be good. That's my whole thing for it. It's got to be good. The biggest of something doesn't impress me. The biggest, it's the biggest bagel, it's the biggest piece of pizza, it's the biggest taco. It's not exciting. Is it good?
Size doesn't matter. Taste does, baby. I am so curious. We might cut that. I'm so curious. I think we have a real litmus test for this situation coming, because O-Bagel is opening in Montclair.
It is.
And I really like. I've written about O-Bagel several times. They make very good bagels, and I wouldn't say O-Bagel is as crazy as like Bagel Nook, but they're a little more unconventional, and they're coming to a town. Montclair isn't just a great food town; it's a great bagel town. You have Sunrise Bagels, you have Hot Bagels abroad, you have Beyond Bagel, and you also have, I think it's Walnut Street. Well, I should know this. It's Walnut Street Bagel or Walnut Street Kitchen. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to fix this, because I want to make sure that, because they make good bagels. Have you been there?
I have not. I don't go anywhere. I'm horrible.
You're kind of busy running a restaurant.
A little bit.
Bagels. All right. We're going to, hey, James, we're going to cut this in so I sound smart. You have Walnut Street Bagel & Co. Walnut Street Bagels & Co., which is kind of a hybrid-y type spot. They do a good job. They have some more unconventional bagels, but it's not as insane as others. So if O-Bagel thrives in Montclair, there's interest, but there's already so many like entrenched bagel spots there that and
Montclair people are. Now, to be fair, I've never had O-Bagel. Follow them on social media, and they do a great job with that for sure. Montclair's like really loyal to their existing spots. Even the really shitty existing spots.
Like what? Oh, spill the tea, baby. Let's go.
No, not going there.
Okay. Oh, you said everything was on the table, baby. Come on.
But if I want to open up in Montclair, I gotta be careful.
Yeah.
But I feel like Montclair's very loyal to their existing spots, which is interesting. And it's also really, we do a ridiculous amount of DoorDash, like ridiculous amount of DoorDash. And so parking for DoorDashers to pick up a bagel order in Montclair on Bloomfield, like, it's risky. Like, there's sometimes nowhere to park. So are you picking up that, order for one bagel sandwich, risking a ticket is tough. We're fortunate because we have an amazing parking lot where we are. And my customers don't care what time of day it is. Like, when we open at 8 a.m. on Saturday, you may have some double cheeseburgers to make immediately. But what that does is it builds the average basket. So now the Dasher's getting 20%, let's say, off a $60, $70 ticket at 8 in the morning, which is hard. Who else has a $70 or $80 ticket at 8 a.m.? It doesn't exist. Unless you're like catering like after a wedding or something in that realm. But so I think it's a little, I think it's risky of them, but he seems like a risk taker. They take the risk.
I think they know what they're doing. But Montclair's loyal, and Jersey's super loyal in general. It takes a lot to get someone to switch up their food routine, and it's as true with bagels as it is anything.
Absolutely.
One more thing I want before we wrap up. I got a couple of bagels do's and don'ts.
Okay.
These are my thoughts as a as a professional bagel consumer, and we're gonna get your thoughts as a professional bagel maker. The do's and don'ts of New Jersey bagels. Do know your order. and we kind of talked about this earlier, but there's nothing more infuriating to me than when you're online at the bagel shop and you after waiting all that time, you finally get to the front and the person in front of you is still figuring out what they want. And it's like, ma'am, we know the menu. Almost every bagel shop has the same menu. Why do you not know what you're getting yet?
Yep, I'm 100% with you there. I have nothing that I can add to that. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. Wherever you are, know your order.
Yeah.
If you're waiting online, be ready. Let's go.
Or if you want to say I'm not ready and let someone go ahead of you, fine. Okay, but still know your order. Don't toast a fresh bagel. This one might be controversial. I think you're on my side with this one, but I think that toasting a fresh bagel is akin to taking a perfectly medium rare steak and throwing it back on the grill. It's perfectly cooked. Why are you going to cook it any more than this? And frankly, if you're taking a fresh, warm bagel and toasting it more, you're sapping it of what makes it amazing.
Correct. Well, Thomas Edison did say it is wrong to toast a fresh bagel, and he was from West Orange, so we live by that. There's absolutely no reason to toast a fresh bagel, and what we educate our customer a lot, because what I've learned now is people are asking for a toasted bagel because they don't realize it's warm. They don't know sometimes. So when customers come in, especially like right when I know bagels have just come out of the oven, and we bake throughout the day to have fresh hot bagels all day. But we'll tell the customer. So if they're like, let me get this toaster, be like, it just came out of the oven. And 99% of them go, oh, okay, don't worry about it. Don't toast it in that case.
Good.
And we used to not toast bagels. Like we were completely against it. But I always tell my staff, I go, grab the best bagel. When someone orders a bagel, you grab the best bagel that exists as if we're about to close. Mm-hmm. You don't go like, well, this one's kind of warm and that one's hotter, so that one's going to last longer. Let me take the kind of warm. No, you give everyone the best possible bagel at that exact moment. And we used to say, no, we won't toast. And now you get people who just like are angry and they really want to toast it. I'm like, perfect. Now I can use the old bagel. Now I can use the one that's cold. Now you get that bagel.
That's customer service.
I was
right there,
anti
baby.
it forever, and then I was like, why? Why am I anti? Because it takes a minute or two. Okay, so it takes a minute or two.
I'm all about toasting a day-old bagel.
Yeah, and you have to.
And sometimes, like if I don't know for sure that they're fresh, I do really like if I'm getting a bagel with butter, if it's not warm, it's got to be toasted so the butter melts.
You have to have the melt. Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page, and that's customer service. And so, but usually when you say, oh, they're fresh, people are like,
very rarely will someone still ask us to
screw it. I
want
want
yeah, they're stoked to hear it. And then there's points too where we'll be like, just so you know, if you wait like 4 more minutes, you can have a fresh hot bagel.
No.
And
I'll wait 20. Well, actually, I just said I want to wait, but there's nothing better in life than a fresh bagel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fresh New Jersey bagel.
And now a lot of our customers get it too, and they'll pull up, especially with the curbside model. We have one woman, I literally call her hot bagel lady because she always wants her bagels hot. And I saw her, I was out to dinner like 2 weekends ago, and there's this woman looking at me at the table, and I look over there, I'm like, are you hot bagel lady? And she's like, I am. No joke.
There's something so Jersey about knowing, like having a bagel nickname from their order at the shop.
Yep, this is curbside too, so I've never seen her out of her car, so I'm always like standing above her, looking down at her window. So, but yeah, it's like it's only a few minutes, and the average person, like once in a while, you just get someone who's in a bad mood. And we're like, it's going to be 2 more minutes. We're going to have fresh and like throw their hair. I'm like, it's 2 minutes.
Come on, man. Like I know it said hurry up, but you can wait 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Bagels are worth a 2-minute wait.
It's a 2-minute wait. But
all right, my next one, it's a do. And I think you disagree with me on this one. Do try sweet and savory. Hear me out. I just talked about how much I love classic bagels, blah, blah, blah. I do have a soft spot for French toast bagels. I do have a soft spot for a bacon, egg, and cheese on a French toast bagel. The sweet and savory, it's like a McGriddle on a bagel. And I absolutely love it, and I don't think you do.
It's not for me, that's for sure. I do have customers that are into it, and I have to remember, like, I'm not feeding me, I'm feeding the customer. But it's also really hard for me to make things that I'm not into. So, like, if you see a special on the menu, most likely it's something I'm really into. It's something that gets me excited. And the sweet bagels just don't do it for me. But, like, I get it, and especially with kids, and they want, I literally have to go to one of my competitors in town this week because my kid saw somebody with a rainbow bagel, and she was like, I was jealous that they had a rainbow bagel. Daddy, do you make rainbow bagels? I'm like, I did once. I'm never doing it again.
Why not? Is it really hard or annoying, or you just don't like it?
Super hard, super annoying, and like it totally ruined the bagel because I went in the order of the rainbow, so I made the red first, and it took quite some time for the gel dye to like make it red, and then I take that red out, and now I'm on to orange, and now that red is proofing. And then it keeps going and going and going. And by the time I was ready to make the bagels, the red had like tripled in size. what's at the end of the rainbow? Roy G. Biv.
Roy G. Biv bagel.
Violet.
Yeah. Violet, you're turning violet from the bagel.
Violet hasn't proofed properly yet. But yeah, I have to go get my kid a rainbow bagel this week. I promised her.
I'm glad that you give people what they want. I'm telling you, as a bagel snob, try a French toast bagel with bacon, egg, and cheese, Taylor ham, whatever you want.
Is that your thing? Are you bacon, egg, and cheese? General, forget about the French toast for it. Like, what is your breakfast sandwich bagel, or is that it?
So no, I was gonna ask you about this actually. I love a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, but I frankly think that bacon, egg, and cheese is better on a roll than a bagel.
Okay.
I think that, and I've had some very good bagel sandwiches from your shop.
I get it.
But in general, I think that it's frankly a little too much going on, whether it's bacon, egg, and cheese, whether it's Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. It's a lot. And also bagels aren't typically properly structured. I mean, like the texture does not lend itself to a good sandwich experience. Usually, I mean, that crust, you have to bite a little harder and then the bagel starts falling apart. I prefer bacon and cheese, Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, whatever you want, on a roll. And I was curious for your thoughts on that.
Are you a Kaiser or a brioche?
Kaiser. I don't.
Oh, you are really like OG. Like
yeah,
this,
I don't like brioche bagels or like a burger brioche. But it's a little just too much. It's too much bread. If I'm in France or something, sure. But in New Jersey, give me a nice Kaiser. Like, but am I crazy for that? Because I know some places they specify their bagels for sandwiches, and that I respect that, and I think it does work sometimes. But in general, I just think the roll is a better vessel for a breakfast sandwich in that regard. I prefer. I'll just get like a cream cheese bagel usually.
I think that's fair. I can totally get that. I also think it's a lot too. Like I think a bacon, egg, and cheese. I'm a sausage, egg, and cheese guy. That's my thing. But I honestly prefer like our version of a McMuffin than a bagel because it's lighter with the bread. So we're on the same page there, and that's why honestly I have everything on the menu. You can get on the bagel, you can get on the brioche.
I got one more. Don't scoop your bagels. Come on, guys. Please, have some self-respect. Have some dignity. I respect dietary restrictions and whatnot. If that's, I'm not trying to shame anyone.
There's no dietary restriction there. You're taking out a little bit of dough. It's not. This is not. We're not talking like a gluten allergy. We have gluten-free bagels. It's not a dietary. Like, oh, you think you're so much better than me?
You think you're better than me? You're scooping your bagels.
Yeah, there's an arrogance with the people who get their bagels scooped. Like most people, it's. No, Jarrett, watch it.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Seriously, like most people who ask for their bagel scooped are very rude when they come in.
Really?
Like, it's very rare that someone's like super sweet about, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do everything scooped and this place looks great. You know, like that doesn't happen. It's like this angry guy who's I don't know why he's mad at me. Like it's
because he's in New Jersey and he wants his bagel now. Damn it.
Yeah, scooped, toasted. Chicken salad with a little bit of mayo extra. And you're just like,
oh man, that sounds like a restaurant nightmare right there. But no, the scooping thing, I forget. Someone wrote an article a couple years back, and I was like, I want to give this an honest assessment, and I did. I went and tried a bunch of scooped bagels, and I'm telling you, you're sucking the life from the. I mean, I rather have a bagel be. I think I'd rather have a fresh bagel toasted than a fresh bagel scooped because.
Well, you have to toast the scoop, in my opinion, because then you make it a texture game.
Okay.
So that I can get if you scoop in everything and you toast it again, and now you just like crunch all around with like a hair bit of chew, and you throw some chicken salad on it. Like I get it there. The cream cheese thing, like you're eating cheese, like you're eating cream cheese.
It just ruins because the best part of the bagel for me is that textural contrast.
Absolutely.
It's having the crisp, the crust, and then the chewiness on the inside. So if you get rid of the chewiness, you're literally taking the heart and soul of the bagel out. And then I've heard some people say, well, the sandwich holds better together that way. Then put it on a roll. I mean, you're kind of proving my previous point.
Correct, but we do certain things. So, like, we dice all of our veggies for sandwiches. So, if you get tomato or cucumber or onion on the sandwich, it's diced. So that way it doesn't slide off the sandwich.
Jarrett, you're a bagel genius.
Thank you.
Jarrett, and one last don't, just because, I mean, we're supposed to wrap up here, but don't get bagels anywhere else, guys. I mean, come on. Like, New York, fine. But, like, I love bagels so much, but I'm not going to go, like, I'm not craving a bagel so much that I'm going to eat a bad bagel. Like, if I'm in Chicago, I'm not getting a bagel.
It's not worth the carbs.
No, yes.
It's not worth it.
Our Jersey bagel carbs are worthwhile carbs. Bagels almost anywhere else, not worth it. You're wasting your time. And I'll never go to a bagel chain. I'm not going to Manhattan Bagels. I'm not going to Einstein Bagels. I'm not going to Dunkin' Donuts unless my buddy sabotages me like he did this morning.
Oh, again, blaming it on the buddy.
Jarrett, this was a lot of fun. He's doing fine. This was a lot of fun. This was awesome. Before we let you go, we have to run you through the Garden State Gauntlet. which today is obviously bagel themed. Are you ready?
I hope so.
You're definitely ready. You got this. Favorite type of bagel?
Everything.
You're ready. Least favorite type of bagel?
Plain.
Favorite topping for a bagel?
Topping.
Like what are you putting on a bagel? Like whether it's
Vegetable
like
cream cheese.
Vegetable cream. There we go.
Sorry.
One thing that does not belong on a bagel.
That's tough because we put everything. I mean, we got popular because of our fried chicken sandwich on the bagel.
That thing is fire.
What does not go on the bagel? Ooh, I don't think I have an answer for that.
So anything goes on a bagel?
Anything can go on the bagel. Yeah, I mean, we used to do burgers on bagels. Our pizza bagel was literally like a brick of fried provolone. It was phenomenal.
Not mozzarella.
No.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I basically made a giant provolone mozzarella stick and put our sweet basil marinara sauce on it, which was my copycat ripoff of like the Pizza Hut dipping sauce for the breadsticks that had that sweetness to it.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah, and that was on the bagel. That was my pizza bagel. I should bring it back.
I would eat that for sure. What is your? You know what? I think
I don't have one.
That's a good answer. Favorite bagel shop other than your own?
It was Ronnie's Bagels in Hillsdale. I haven't been there in a very, very long time.
But what made it your favorite?
It was. I mean, it's what I grew up on, which I think is a piece to it, right? Like it's. Look, we do a thin crust pizza, and you know who's right by me is a place called Star.
Pretty good,
and it's pretty hard. You know, a lot of people, well, is it as good as Star? I've been going to Star for 50 years. I'm like, I can't fight you on it. Like, I'm not going to change your mind. I'm not going to change your mind.
There's some things like I've realized this when I debate food with people. There's certain like you're not going to change my mind about Star Tavern. I will say like there are other good like thin crust pies, but it's good. I don't know what's going to ever overtake that for me, and I think that's kind of the deal with a lot of food.
I was Kinchley's growing up. I was Kinchley's
Great
pizza,
spot.
and you know then I had them. Everyone's like, oh well, Star's like our version of Kinchley's, and I went and I was like, no, it's not. It's not Kinchley's.
It's
like,
different.
Yeah. And I get it though. Everyone has those things, and I think it's like whatever you attach to as a child.
Yeah. What is the craziest thing you've ever cooked at Bagels by Jarrett?
The craziest thing I've ever
whether a bagel or otherwise, but
man.
preferably what's the craziest bagel you've ever made? Or like,
crazy.
you make some crazy stuff, man. That's why I love you.
I mean, I would say we did a Peking duck bao bun early on, which I think was one of the things that people were like, "What the fuck is this guy doing? Like, who's getting their Peking duck bao at a bagel shop?"
That's a real everything bagel right there,
right? But yeah, that's a tough one because my whole menu is insane.
It is. I love it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. We have last week we put on a Korean bibimbap fried rice from a bagel shop.
Sign me up.
Who does that?
I wouldn't have that most places, but I trust it from you.
It's phenomenal. And the Wagyu lo mein that we're doing now. Because
You're nuts.
But like you can't. Would you ever order steak lo mein anywhere?
No.
Never, because you're gonna get chewy, gross steak. So like, what if I just give you these beautiful chunks of Kobe beef?
Only from the mind of Jarrett Seltzer, man.
At a place called Bagels by Jarrett.
Exactly.
So stupid.
No, it's a great name. It works. It's ironic.
I wanted to call it Jarrett Eat World, which made no sense back then and would have worked out perfectly.
Yeah, but Jimmy Eat World doesn't make sense either.
I know.
If you think about it. But
I wanted to do it. They were my favorite band, and I was like, I should have called it Jarrett Eat World.
Speaking of bands, Jarrett, before he was one of the craziest bagel makers in the world, he was a musician. What's your favorite memory from playing in Houston Calls?
My favorite memory from playing in Houston Calls, honestly, I would say our first international tour was to Japan, and just like getting like the whole experience with the whole band, like all flying overseas. We went to duty free. Everybody bought alcohol. We opened the alcohol on the flight. Everyone was super hungover halfway into the flight, and you still had like 7 hours to go, and you were just so sick. And then we get there because it was cool, because I feel like if our first overseas trip was like the United Kingdom, it wouldn't have felt as foreign. As like when you land in Japan, you're like, I don't even know what that store is.
The culture shock is just insane there.
So I'd say that, like, looking back, I mean, there's obviously a ton of different things. We got to tour the world and sign to, record label, blah, 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 blah. But I think the first overseas trip was like one of the coolest things.
That sounds incredible.
You feel really important. You feel like your band actually kind of made it. Like you're like, maybe I am a musician. Like maybe this is real.
I would say you made it, man. That's awesome. And now you've made it as one of the best bagel makers in New Jersey. That's a wrap on this episode of Jersey's Best Podcast. Jarrett, thank you so much for joining us. This was a blast, as I expected. Jarrett, where can people follow you? Where can they find your stuff? Where can they eat your food? What do you got to
I got you. Yeah, Bagels by Jarrett. We're located in West Orange, New Jersey. Follow the Instagram. We post on there multiple times a day, different specials and everything, which is just at bagelsbyjarrett.com. As long as you spell Jarrett properly, Jarrett. But no one can spell. I thought putting my name on a building would finally get people to spell my name right, and it doesn't. Some of my employees call me Jerry. I have one girl. She's been with me since the beginning, and she's like, "Jerry, we're out of this," and I'm like, It's Jarrett. It's on your check.
It's
why?
the name on the
Why?
building.
We answer the phone. Bagels by Jarrett. Just listen.
Oh, you're Jarrett?
Yeah. And the worst part was I got a guy named Jerry who works for me, and he used to be daytime when I was there. So I didn't know who she was talking to because she would say, "Hey, Jerry," and I would look. Now Jerry only works dinner service, so if she says, "Hey, Jerry," I know she's talking to me.
You figured it out, man.
At bagelsbyjarrett.com. Instagram's the best place to follow.
Jarrett, your bagels are awesome. Your pizza is awesome at the Slice Shop. Whatever's coming out of your kitchen, I want to eat it. It's delicious, and this was a lot of fun.
Number 2 best chili.
Number 2 your chili was fire. Hey man, that was a lot of.
And you were like, I remember you're like, I can't eat any more chili. Like I've been eating chili for a month. I don't want to eat any more chili.
And yours was you fought that off for me. It was a reprieve. It was delicious.
Thank you.
So thank you for that, Jarrett. Thank you to our audio producer James Shapiro, our video producer Dwayne Uzaro, and our executive producer Bobby Olivier. Thank you to Schmutzadellas for our theme song. Again, if you have any questions, episode ideas, guest suggestions, anything like that, email us at jerseysbestpodcast@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, leave us reviews. Super helpful for new podcasts. We're a new podcast. Hook us up. And please consider subscribing to NJ.com. There's a link in our episode notes. New Jersey needs high-quality journalism, and our journalists need you. Tune in again next week for the latest episode of Jersey's Best Podcast. And remember, Jersey forever.